we had, during my 25-year course of kind of my career in IT, I've always made it a point to create a nest egg. I've always made it a point to make sure I had enough money saved up for a rainy day. In this
Emergency
case,
fund.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
6 months of emergency funds. The other thing that allowed us to move forward with focus and clarity is we had invested about 8 years ago in our own family wellness clinic. And that's actually what my wife was doing. She was managing operations of a family wellness clinic that we had bought and purchased. And that was her day-to-day. My day-to-day was just in a separate, completely different territory in the IT world, right? And so because we had that family business, we were kind of set in a interesting kind of now fork in the road of, do I focus more on our family business, which we've bought 8 years ago? It's been doing okay. And, there's potential there. Or do I go back and figure out, do I need to take a less risky position, try to figure out what I can do for, go back into IT, what positions are there, right? And so at that point, we really made a decision that, we found this one particular service in our wellness side that was starting to take off, that we saw enough legs there that if I joined on with my wife to really focus on that particular service, we could see perhaps even a better future for us.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
So you created a lane, you have an option, right? So what I'm hearing is, number one, the emergency fund allowed you to have some options too, because
yes.
Right. So how much different would that situation have been had you not had the resources?
I think it would have probably just made us worry more because we didn't have the backup money or backup funds.
Would you have still made the same move?
We would have still made the same move, I think. I think we would have, because we had enough foresight that, okay, this other thing in our family side of the business, there's enough indication that if we just put a little bit more there, it could take off.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I will say that, like, I heard you say, I think. Right? Right? Which is a level of confidence, right? Like a level of confidence. So for those listening, like, think about that, guys. If you don't have the resources, it's going to create, it's going to rock your confidence a little bit in order to make these decisions. So it sounds like you had your rock, which was your wife.
Yeah.
You had an opportunity to pivot.
Yep.
And you had the resources. So you're like, it gave probably some confidence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Like it wasn't as tough a decision because, again, we weren't in a place where we were in need of financial money right away that we didn't necessarily know what direction to go in. So it just happened to be fortuitous enough for us to happen at the right time for us to make that choice for us. Right?
Absolutely. So many of my listeners, as you know, are in career transition themselves, right? And they're going through this. And what would you say one of the biggest mindset shifts for you, or that you faced going from being an executive consultant to owning your own family business? Like, what was the shift that had to happen in order to make one successful to the other, to pivot like that?
That's a great question, because as I think about it, for those who are looking at that transition, especially if you're coming from the world of IT and management and stuff like that, to be honest, a lot of the skills that you are gaining and are doing in the IT world, especially if you're in the world of consulting, you're actually practicing and even advising and educating your clientele on what it means to be successful as a business leader, right? And so I found it interesting, number one, that all the stuff that I was doing in my IT career, managing people, managing technology, all that stuff, there was an interesting transition where a lot of that stuff could be reused, re-leveraged, but in the context of my own business, of my own family, of the people I'm hiring, educating, trying to make sure I'm running our business, right? So it was an interesting shift from that dynamic of, there's stuff I can absolutely grab onto. So for your listeners, I would encourage you all have a tremendous amount of value that you've obtained in whatever career you have.
So true.
And that value can absolutely be reused in whatever shift in career you have. I'll say maybe one thing, especially if it relates to people. Man, if you are a great people leader, no matter what industry you're coming from, right, making sure that you keep that focus on being the right people leader, the right people for for your business, for your customers, whatever it is, those are absolutely skill sets that can transform and be easily leveraged when you start your own thing. In fact, I would say that's key. Like if you ever want to start your own thing, make sure you are focused on making sure what it means to be the right people leader for yourself, for your employees, for your customers.